York State. His favorite driver is Dale Jarrett. And he's sponsored by TD Landscaping. And a local boy, Craig Macy. Cars owned by Harry Macy of Buffalo, New York. And number 4, Peter Demand. Peter started racing in 1996. He used to race Trans Am cars. Paul Smith, driving car 28 for Messina Source Satellite. Another local boy, David Bannock from Dunkirk, New York. Number 21, Jimmy Johnson, running for Arlington Crane and Cryogenic Maintenance. Jimmy had a real bad crash last weekend at Peterborough, and we were off, luckily, for a week. Was able to get his car fixed. And number 91, Bill Carey from Buffalo area. He's running Harry Macy's backup car, driving for Jiffy Tite, his regular sponsor, and he drives for Harry Macy, who has Jiffy Tite, his sponsor here. And he's run modifieds at Lancaster.
Thank you, Dan. That sets our field for this final qualifying event for the Castrol Can-Am TQ Midgets, as the field moving slowly around the track. Earl Kane up in front in that number 69. He'll be joined by the Luke Mason number 86, as they're now forming 2 by 2. Andy Macarith in the 40, the 9 of Craig Macy, the 4 of Peter Demand, the 28 of Paul Smith.
Looks like Joey Hoffman is out there at the back of the pack to get a few bugs ironed out of his car. That car Joey builds himself. Joey's an engineer, and that is one of the sweetest, most intricate built TQ midgets you are ever to lay your eyes on. If you ever come in the pits after the race, have a look at this work of art. It is just absolutely magnificent.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the field of cars now under the caution flag from Doug Carnes. So the Castrol Can-Am TQ Midgets Thunder and Lightning Division ready for this consolation event. And Earl Kane out of Orangeville, Luke Mason in the car number 86, the 40 of Andy Macarith, 9 of Craig Macy, Peter Demand in car number 4, the 28, Paul Smith, Dave Banish in the 58, Jim Johnstone in car 21, and Billy Carey driving the Harry Macy, number 91.
You're out of breath. It's a long walk up, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we thought something else was going to happen, and unfortunately, I was going one way and almost had to go the other way, so here I am upstairs again.
Well, the Castrol Can-Am Midgets have another sponsor this year. We have a co-sponsor along with Snap-on Tools, and it's Crooks Wire Products, and they've put money into the series, and they basically sponsor all the cars along with Castrol and Snap-on.
Oh, here they come down for the consolation event, and they drop the green flag, and immediately taking over the point is Luke Mason in car number 86. So Mason grabbed the lead very early on in this one. Look at Andy Macarith now. Macarith drops down to the inside, and he will try to take over the second spot. And that will be the Earl Kane car number. Oh, look at Paul Smith. Man, he took him 3 wide up there in the first corner. Andy Macarith on a roll. Oh! Macarith. 3, 4, maybe 5 times. He pinwheeled. Down the back straightaway, you can see Andy moving in the race car. He took a very hard ride into the outside retaining wall, the concrete over there. And Andy, safety crew are talking to him.
Okay, I just heard from our crews that they're going to throw a red flag out there to make sure Andy's okay.
So Andy Macarith in the car number 80, and they just want to check on him, check on his well-being, as just a very hard shot along the back straightaway. Dave, over the years, Holland Speedway has been looked at as somewhat of a Super Bowl of sorts for the Castrol Can-Am Midget Club. The cars really fly around this racetrack, and when we do have incidents, we always somewhat hold our breath because they are really traveling at some very, very fast speeds here.
Well, when these cars are hooked up, and it's a nice day like tonight, these guys are running flat out. They don't lift in the corners, and it's, I know I saw the 12 car go end over end 8 times a couple of years ago, and he walked away. We have very, very stringent safety rules, and we make everybody adhere to them. They got a 5-point harness. The seat belts are checked every couple of years to make sure they're no more than 2 years old. Helmets are very, very important. They have to be Snell 90 or better. The cars are well built, and Andy does his own cars, and he is really, really particular about safety. It looked bad, but basically we've bent tubing and stuff, but the driver might be a little sore tomorrow, but he will be fine. And that's a credit to our tech committee and our safety committee.
Oh, absolutely. That's what keeps the cars as safe as they are. And like you said, he's a meticulous race car builder. He really strengthens his race cars, knows what it takes not only to make them go fast, but also to make the driver safe in that compartment of the race car. And I'll tell you, the cleanup crew over there now mopping up, but it appears at least that Andy is none the worse for that. Like you said, he's probably going to be sore tomorrow. He's probably going to have some burns from the shoulder strap and the belts on him because he really just pinwheeled down the back straightaway.
Well, that's a very unfortunate incident for Andy Mackert because Andy currently is in second in points. Like Jimmy Johnson, David Bailch, and Andy Mackert are 7 points between second and fourth. Keith Dempster, he's running away and hiding because he's having a heck of a year, as he always does. You know, Keith is one of the best drivers out there, but you know, he's always got lady luck on his hands. He was out in practice, and he lost a radiator cap or a hose blew or something. Anybody else would happen during the race, but with Keith Dempster, lady luck is with him, and he's a nice guy. Like, he's lent cars to a lot of people in the club. Like, my son was one of them. What comes around goes around. So he blew a radiator hose in practice. So, you know, for those that treat people really nice, you know, you get looked after. So he lost the radiator hose. It didn't happen during the feature.
Yeah, that's really true. There's a certain amount of luck in every time you win any type of championship, whether it's hockey or in motorsports or football or what have you. There's always a little bit of some days everything's going to go downhill. Some days, no matter what you do, things will turn out right. But like you said, over the years, he's been so consistent, though. And he's always... Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the white flag now being displayed to the field of cars. Here they come now, lining themselves up on the back straightaway, ready to resume the chase in this one. David, how many cars are we going to have qualify out of this one?
Pretty much everybody qualifies. It's just they're going for their position where they start in the feature.
Okay, that's it. Then they'll be setting for their starting position in the main event. So the field now resets itself up, turn number 4, and grabbing the lead one more time is the car number 86, and that is the rookie driver, Luke Mason. So Mason has taken over the... Wow, he's lost the point to Jim Johnstone. So as we speak, Jim Johnstone made a nice move, and he has taken over the lead. Johnstone now comes back down to the stripe with the Arlington Crane machine with 5 laps to go. Johnstone now is starting to sail away from the field. Johnstone has taken over the lead for the Luke Mason machine. Back there in and riding now in the 3rd spot is the Orangeville, Ontario driver, Earl Kane. But Kane now, Paul Smith now wants to take that spot away. So Paul Smith now has moved underneath. Earl Kane has taken over the 3rd spot. So right now it is Jim Johnstone, a lot of ground in between himself and the 2nd place car as they come back down the stripe with 3 laps to go. And boy, they are turning quick again, 13.83. 13.83 seconds. Man, that is something. So with 2 laps to go, here comes the leader down in front of the grandstand one more time. And Jim Johnstone now sails away down the back straightaway. And he is turning around 100 miles an hour, roughly around 100 miles an hour out there. So very quick lap speeds with 1 lap to go. And right now he can start mailing it in, I guess, Jim Johnstone. He is well on his way to victory. And Dave Banish, the 58 car out of Dunkirk, New York, but he's the tail end of the field, in for the win. The victory goes to Jim Johnstone. 2nd spot will be the 28 of Paul Smith. And then the Luke Mason car. Luke Mason will be in for 3rd. Earl Kane officially 4th. And it looks like Craig Mason.